Recording is in progress. Hey, hello and welcome everybody. Daryl Snyder, Fantasy Sports Logic, July 3rd, 2023, the eve of the 4th of July here in the United States. There's some exciting baseball happening today. Small slate, little two-game early slate. I call it a turbo. And then there's a nice little six-game main slate this afternoon. And you'll see I have pulled up Oracle Park. It's a nice little report from our partner, Ballpark Pal. Ballpark Pal provides more than four, but at least four nice graphs that I'm going to pull up here in a minute. But Oracle Park, not sort of, it's something I'm very much tied into. I'm a Giants fan. If you've been watching any of these videos that I started up in the last few days, named after a San Francisco Giant. My uncle Arnie was a left-handed pitcher in their organization in back when they were in New York in the 50s. From 58, they moved to San Francisco, started at Candlestick Park, and then in, I believe, 1997, they moved to, what it actually says here, I'll have to guess it. They moved into, or 1999, from 60 to 99, they were in the stick. A lot of wind. If you remember, Stu Miller mentions that, getting blown off the mound. Hot dog wrappers everywhere. I remember Willie Mays and Bobby Bonds, Barry's father, colliding, going up for a ball over the fence. It was a crazy play. But anyways, they broke ground in 97 for what was then Pac Bell, now Oracle Park. And today's article talks about the wind and how colder temperatures today. It's one of the stadiums and the stadium park factors and ballpark Pal's projections. It's projected to be way down today. So I'd encourage you to watch that when you get a chance, or read it. Watch this video. If you're watching it, then I don't need to ask you to do that. But let me go here. This is our blog, Daily Fantasy Sports Logic. I'm sorry, Fantasy Sports Logic. And this is our daily blog. It's free. If you go here, be a pop-up. I know it's kind of annoying, but if you subscribe to the blog, all the information in the blog is absolutely free. And what I post every day with this partnership with Ballpark Pal is, as you can see today, Monday, July 3rd, Fantasy Sports Logic presents with Ballpark Pal daily park factors, game simulations, player projections, and more. And you can see there's a home run report, there's a daily fantasy report, there's a daily stadium report I was referring to, Oracle Park, with a negative 30% projection for home runs today because of the wind and the little snowflake. And no, it's not snowing there. That's meaning it's going to be cooler in San Francisco today. And then the starting pitcher preview. So we call this our daily deeper dive video, Triple D. And you'll see some of the projections here for daily home runs. Yesterday, he nailed it on some of his fantasy and players to pot. Phillies had a couple. Real Muto hit a home run. Castellanos hit a home run. He nailed it on quite a few people. So this is good stuff. He runs 3,000 simulations on any given day. He's one of 7 live player projection feeds in the optimizer that I'll cover here in a few moments. But you can see for home runs, the highest probability to hit a home run today, Jake Bauers facing Tyler Wells. Yankees-Orioles game, interesting game. You've got Herman, however you pronounce it. He pitched a perfect game against the A's last time out. A rarity, right? Absolutely perfect. But this today, one start later, you can see there's a couple Orioles, actually more than a couple. Santander, O'Hearn, Hayes, Hicks, Mullins, and Rushman. That's 5. Orioles projected with solid matchups, so it's very interesting. One of it's because the park, Camden Yards, It's actually in New York. I'm sorry. Wind's blowing out in New York, and 24% higher probability. So look at O'Hearn, Santander, 25, almost 24% probability of hitting a home run. So I think the total's probably, even though Hermain's coming off a perfect game, it's projected to be a little bit higher. It's probably the highest total on the slate, maybe 8.5 or 9, if not the highest, tied for one of the highest. You can see here, shows park matchups right here. You see the percentage increase projected, and then the pitching matchup, Tyler Wells, and then Herman. Like I said, Hermain, excuse me, I'm sorry, Herman. He doesn't have too good a matchup with any of these Orioles. So take that as you wish. You can see the boost in probabilities, almost 70% for Mullins, 62% for Rushman. And then there's outlier odds for if you bet on sports books. California is not legal or gambling. We give all fantasy sports our prop plays that you can use our data for. What Aaron provides here, and then also a lot of data that I'll show you inside the daily optimizer, what we call the CEO, the contrarian edge optimizer. Look at the daily fantasy report. He breaks it down nicely by position, first base all the way to DH, pitchers, outfield. A lot of these won't surprise you. There's another Yankee, Rizzo, matched up, projected to, you can see in the blues, the FanDuel projections, and in the green is the DraftKings. So you got Rizzo, there's O'Hearn again, Olson from Atlanta, who's done solid, him and Acuna, right? You almost can pencil him in every day, having great years, a lot of power, a lot of production. So Olson projected almost 9. There's another Yankee, Torres projected almost 9 again for DraftKings. Third base, Ramirez, an Indian. De La Cruz, the phenom from the Reds, the shortstop that came up and inspired the Reds to play a lot better, right? Candelario, he had a good game yesterday. Projected to do decent. Shortstop position seeker of the Rangers. Mateo, another Oriole. Adames, a Brewer. There's Rushman. And then designated hitter Buxton, he's having a good year. Solar, he a lot of power there with Miami. Naylor. And pitching, Garrett, one of the top projected pitchers of the day. You can see FanDuel 37 points, DraftKings 21. Woo, Woo and Webb face off in that Oracle Park that I was talking about. Should be a pitcher's day there with the wind coming in. Home runs projected to be way down. Logan Webb against Seattle, if you remember, Lance Lynn struck out 15, 16, 17 Mariners. So Webb projected nicely at almost, well, a little over 19 points. And then Woo, who started out really well. He's a rookie and he's projected against the Giants, who are having problems. Against righties, Yastrzemski, Conforto still out, Wade not playing at 100%. So the lefties are limited there. I checked to see Conforto might be ready to come back. They didn't put him on the DL. Yastrzemski, I think he had a rehab and fouled something off his foot. You might want to check on that. But those two lefties are out. I like both those pitchers in what should be a low-scoring game. And then you'll see Ryan for the Twins. He's had a good year, projected almost 18. Wells at 15, even though those Yankees, a few of them are predicted to click. And you'll see nowhere is Herman, the Yankees pitcher. So 3,000 simulations of today's game doesn't fare well for Herman. I'll talk about tomorrow what really happened. Acuna, obviously talked about him earlier. Santander, Mullins, Yelich, all solid outfield plays. Here's the daily stadium report. see Oracle down here, minus 30%. At the opposite end, here's probably why a lot of Orioles and some Yankees are projected and not too many pitchers, although I did see Wells, but plus 29% home run probability with the wind. You can see it blowing out, looks like to all fields. Looks like it's going to be sunny, probably warm in New York. You got Atlanta, Cleveland, even though the wind's coming in, still 11% matchup home runs. It's because you've got Atlanta and Cleveland, talked about Ramirez, Olson, Acuna. I mean, you go up and down that Braves lineup, it's crazy solid, right? I think they third best home run mark ever for the amount of games. Powerhouse hitting team. Milwaukee, even though again wind's looking like they're coming in, let's get the roof. So, but it's going to be sunny. 13% projection. Dodger Stadium, interesting, south of San Francisco by hour or so flight. Miles wise, Dodger Stadium, wind's blowing out. It plays totally different when the wind blows out. So Dodgers have that offense. They haven't been clicking as of late, but they are projected 12% higher home runs. So then in order, you can see Nationals Park down in Miami. I've been in that stadium. It's not conducive for a lot of home runs. Less than 11% Petco here. You got Ohtani in town playing against the Padres, and it looks like it's pretty consistent. Maybe a 2% boost down in doubles, triples, and singles. Starting pitcher preview. This is probably the most detailed. I've had conversations with Aaron about this. Report cards, this area here, like the last 1,000 pitches, how the pitches are actually coming out for the pitcher. And you can see that Javier against the Twins is great on pitches, is great on his four-seam fastball, his slider, knuckle curve. He's got an A+, an A, and a B. Sometimes your pitches come out good, but hitters are, they sometimes you'll see a ball down and away. The pitchers are so talented, or the hitters are so talented, they can go down and take that ball out. So it doesn't necessarily mean because the pitchers are good that they're not going to get hit, and vice versa. Sometimes you can see, like Perez, look at B-, but he has his changeup as an A-. So just depending on the count and how comfortable he seems, you can get a gauge. I like to go out here to the right. I say this all the time. My eyes are gonna gravitate towards Garrett. He has a 7.5 strikeout projection. There's Herman, only 4.2. And then I talked about Wu and Webb. You can actually go Ryan, Wu, and Webb, right? Because of that favorable Oracle Park situation today, you got Wu projected almost 7 strikeouts and 6.5, so between 6 and 7 for Webb. Look at the grades. I mean, you got Wu, last 1,000 pitches, AA. I mean, he's on the honor roll, right? Webb's not far behind, B+, AA. So definitely like that matchup pitching wise. If you're looking for some combos in the late slate, the 6-game, the main slate, not the turbo that's early. So definitely encourage you, subscribe to the blog, fantasysportslogic.com for free. Every day you receive in your email this report. If you're on Twitter, I post it occasionally too, along with this video. Got some specials, drafters kind enough to give us a limited amount of $20 free entries into their $2 million best ball tournament. It has a $300,000 up top prize. It's an NFL. You've got between now and probably into August, maybe. I think the season starts in September. To enter absolutely free, all you have to do is take a 7-day test drive of the Contrarian Edge Optimizer, which I'm going to show you here in a second, for $1. Just $1, 7 days. There's no auto upgrade. Some of those do that. I don't. If you like what you see, you can subscribe for a month after the 7 days, $29.97. currently baseball. You get all sports, baseball, NFL football when it comes up. Gonna have golf soon. Congratulations, Ricky Fowler, for breaking that winless streak since 2019. Excited for him. I think he's a Giants fan. He went to Texas, but my father and brother spotted him at a Giants game, I think in Chicago years back, but which I like that. You can see there, it talks about the promotion. So again, try the CEO for 7 days and go to the blog, click on that link, and it'll take you to the optimizer, which I'm going to show you right now. Here it is, early slate. Talked about a little 2-game slate early. Looks like Milwaukee, Cubs, Texas, Houston. So if you're into that, you can run all sorts of simulations. You can see our partners, Baker, 10,000 simulations of any given baseball game. Ballpark Pal, 3,000. FNT Data, that's Frank over there, 40,000 sims of MLB game every day. RotoWire, one of the long-standing providers in the industry. Shannon over there, Peter, great people. Sport Radar with Dan, Sports Data IO with Charles, and Stats Perform with Corey. So what's that mean? It's like we have 7 live player projection feeds and a blend, our proprietary blend of the 7. Let me show you how that works. I'm gonna go to the main slate. This is what I talked about. Nice little 6-gamer tonight. DraftKings has a couple. They've got 100,000 up top on the $15 150 max. They've got a mini max, which has been selling out fast, $3 150 with $10,000 up top. So I don't encourage you to play 150 if that's not in your wheelhouse. But if you want to throw in a $15 or two at the 100,000 up top, that would make for a nice 4th of July celebration. Or into the $3, a nice 10,000 up top. So I think Khalif from Frontier Sports, he got first and second in the 100,000 one a few days ago in the 15. Congratulations to him. Those guys over there do a great job of content. Here we go. Look, we've got talked about the Padres and the Angels. The number 1 projected pitcher is Blake Snell. Obviously had a great year. Lefty coming back into form. If he doesn't walk people, he does well. Who we have here? We got Ballpark Pal, not yet with the projection for him. Probably waiting for a starter from maybe the Angels. Might not be out yet. It's kind of early here. Joe Ryan projected second. He's the highest at 10,000. He'd be the highest cost on. These are DraftKings salaries. You can do DraftKings or FanDuel. Drop down, maybe even Yahoo too. No, just DraftKings, FanDuel. I know we had Yahoo at one time. Probably add that back in. There's Webb and Woo, the double W's. Almost a tongue twister. Webb 9,200, Woo only 6,600. I would imagine he's going to be popular. And who doesn't have him? And yeah, the Baker hasn't included. Some of these zeros will fill in. We update these. You can see up here. Says in about 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, we get feeds. This will run all the way up until lock. Some of the changes, so it's important to stay updated. This will alert you. Let's see, out of shits and giggles, let's see what happens when I lock in Webb. You can lock in 1 pitch or 2 pitchers. I talked about Webb and Woo. You guys are going to probably watch this, and they're going to be the most popular pitching combos. Webb and Woo, right? Generate lineup, see what happens, right? Well, I don't see Otani on there anywhere. Interesting. If he's Here we go. Because the players had a couple of zeros, it gave you that reminder. Okay, you can see here, I can hit generate lineups, or I can go down here to Tatis, Acuna. Those are the top projected, most expensive, but projected across the board. You can see our blend, which is FP0, takes a blend of all of the other 7 providers, projects 10 for Acuna, and then 11. FP5 is only, Sport Radar got him down to 6, so maybe he thinks the matchup, or they think the matchup is a little tougher. You got Mookie, Freddie. Oh, there's Ohtani. Okay, that was 65. That's maybe because he's had a history against Snell. I'm not sure. We still have some other providers because it's early again. These will all fill out as heroes will go away as the day goes on. But let's, I'm not going to pick any Giants or Seattle players to click because having the pitchers. Let's take Fernando. I don't think made the All-Star team. I saw that he was one of the bigger slights, so he might be out to prove something today. So I'm going to lock him. It'll lock him across all the different player platforms. You can see there's 5 listed, and then you hit this arrow. 6, 7, right? 8, including the blends. I'll get back to the blend, which is here. If you like stacking, we're going to come out with a cool feature called the stack attack. If you can, Baltimore again, it might be different. The charts are showing against Herman, so I'm gonna just see what happens with Tatis, the 2 W brothers, Webb and Wu, 5 stack Orioles. Let's see what it pulls up. It's doing some calculations. It's going to reset here. See, that's down to 1.2 minutes, but generate lineups. Yeah, getting that because of some of the feeders don't have them in their lineup yet. No, I just regenerated. So let me get the latest, see if anybody was added. Yeah, we know that. Just telling you that some of the providers haven't included Tatis yet. Okay, if you can look at this, there's Webb and Wu, and look at the Orioles. Rushman, who's on Ballpark Pal's chart. There's Mullins, Hayes. Pick them out because it's not just Ballpark Pal, but a lot of providers. They like this. Bobby Witt Jr. had a great year for Kansas City. They have him matched up pretty well with Ryan. There's Farmer. It shows you the batting positions projected. I don't think the starting lineups are all confirmed, so this could change throughout the day. But this gives you a nice mix, right? And you can take a blend of all 7. You can put in here whatever you want, 20, max 150. You can be even more diverse. You can go 10 or 15 across each provider. You're going to get a little bit different mix from all of them. You can see some of the players are identical, but rarely do they ever all match up. So you look at this Baker, that's the 10,000 simulations. It likes Mookie today. I'm not against that. You saw him on one of the charts. O'Hearn, Honorio, Rushman, because I stacked 5, right? Here you got Torres. He was on the and that's Ballpark Pal. That's why he was projected to click DFS. So you can change this to whatever team you want. You can auto stack. You can go, you don't have to stack 5. I like 5, 6 game slate today. You may go 4. It's your flavor, whatever. I've been playing football since the late 90s. We kept score on a USA Today Monday with a group of guys. And then FanDuel, DraftKings, since its inception, I got hooked. I played a $3. Back then it was a $3 game. and I placed second and won like $3,000. Not really knowing what I was doing. I didn't have an optimizer. I got lucky, I would say, be honest. But I've studied now for years and years, and consistently stats win. I think if you ask any of the pros, a lot of these companies, content providers and simulators, they show you that 5-game, 4-game stocks because of correlation is the way to go. So whatever way you can, again, if you're a max 150 player, you've got a lot of opportunity to get different stacks in there. Follow your gut on that. The pro options is crazy. The technology partner that I acquired exclusivity with, he's beyond intelligent. He's on the inventor's patent for the first GPS chip. He developed a season long. We're going to be big in best ball. He's one of the foremost in season long fantasy football. His app back in the day, the machine and the Taguchi Brain were the number one downloaded app, was the number one on CBS Sportsline 2012, 13, 14. Obviously, things have advanced technology, so we're going to be releasing some crazy cool season long best ball guides. And when we fire up the machine in Taguchi Brain again, I'll just let action speak for the words. So just keep in tune with what's happening there. But you can see auto max exposure set at 100. You can go whatever if you like. If you want max exposure for top players, you can keep it at 100. You can drop it down to 60, and whatever you want to drop it down to. Got minimum exposure. It's got little explanations on all these. Team stacking bonuses. Obviously, I stack outside of the pro settings, so I don't really need to mess with that. You want to be diverse, get as much, I call it coverage. I read a great book, or listened to it, audio, called Dealing with Kings. Daniel Barbarisi, hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name right. He was a sports beat writer, Wall Street Journal for the Yankees, I believe. Became intrigued back in 2016-17. Was getting pounded by the pros, took a year off, wanted to figure out why he was getting pounded by the pros. Great read, great listen. It was like 20 some hours with amazing insight. So you'll find out why I went on that as coverage. Optimizers are great, but if you don't combine strategy with optimizers, and you just press an optimizer and do the things everybody else is doing, there's so many people playing with optimizers, you're not going to be too different. So contrarian means getting different. That's why we have an on-off contrarian mode that I don't think anybody else has. But again, things are advancing. AI, machine learning, chat GPT-3, all that fun, cool stuff that is happening in our lifetime. You can fade out a team, game time decisions. I like to turn that to on. I don't like a guy in my lineup after I've maxed 150 to go through and have to swap them out because they didn't play. And if you want to if you don't want to lock pictures, you don't have to. If you want max exposure, up to 100, whatever you want, max. I mean, if you do the math, 156 games, you could get pretty spread out. What it would be 15 lineups, 15, place them in 15 of your 150, whatever. I'm not going to give you, the exact. I showed you some things up there. You can probably watch the video and copy those or whatever. But if you and 10,000 other people are watching this video, which isn't going to happen yet, eventually. I just started the YouTube channel. Not sure how many subscribers, not very many, not very many views, but it will be into the millions. So anyways, you just hit save on this and it'll set your pro settings. So things crazy. It's really cool for the people that like to do deep dives like these. I'm not a math guy, I'm more of a feel guy. I guess they'd call it a combination hand builder and optimizer. And some of these guys, a lot of them came over from the poker world, right? And that's what that Dealing with Kings book is about. I don't know if I talked about this before. We've got a movie production company driven to win entertainment, uh, in collaboration with Peter Schenke, who founded RotoWire. I think he founded. He's on the board of directors of the Fantasy Sports Gaming Association. We're going to produce a cool movie called The Game Within: The History of Fantasy Sports, touching on where it came from, 50s and 60s, baseball, pigskin prognosticators with some guys affiliated with the Oakland Raiders back in the day. And then on the other side, baseball, rotisserie baseball, right? And how they emerged from both sides of the country, late 50s, early 60s. They kind of spread through friends who played, and then their official scoring systems came up. And like I started playing, like I say, in the 90s, late 90s, with a group of guys at football, right? And we have our rules that we heard from somebody, and then we'd keep score USA Today, and we'd have to check and balance everybody. And then Yahoo came out with, first online, I think, way to track your teams. And then obviously FanDuel, DraftKings, and now there's, today with the Drafters, which is a partner I referred to. They've got Best Ball, they've got Prop Picks, got Underdog, you got Prize Picks. Super Draft is a partner. So there's a lot of evolution of just daily fantasy contests. There's Web3 stuff coming out. This will all be in the movie. The documentary is only going to be an hour, so what can you get in an hour? I hope to pack it with Peter's advising and all of his connections from the Hall of Fame and some of the top players in the world, as much into that first hour. And then there will be docu-series getting in depth. And one of them I'm excited about is some partnerships with where these platforms are going. I won't let the cat out of the bag, but totally. But imagine a player's platform that you play on, but you have ownership in, with patronage. The more you play, the more equity, the more access to exclusive tournaments that just these players have, and the more you share the platform. It's coming. I hope to be a big part of it, and I think it's something long overdue. You get a lot of input. I see a lot of these players making suggestions on how they'd like to have certain things happen, and without players, the platforms, they don't have anything. So that's probably a lot to digest, but exciting things. I'd encourage you to try this out for $1. I mean, 7 days, you're going to get a $20 entry while they last to the Drafters Best Ball. Get in, mess around. It's in beta. After the $1, as I said earlier, there's no automatic upgrade. If you like it, you want to try it for another month, $29.97. If you want to take advantage of our while in beta, one-time, lifetime, never pay another penny, $299.97, all sports as we add them. Baseball, the rest of the baseball season, NFL football when it comes, PGA golf when it comes. When we add it, it's here. I said Ricky congratulated him. And then NBA, for sure. And then who knows? I mean, I get requests. I know NASCAR, pretty interesting in Chicago yesterday, what happened. Cricket, soccer, going to be a part of Soccer X in Miami, probably do something with soccer. I'm not a experienced soccer person. I know of a few. Messi going to Miami, and Ronaldo, the technology NeuroTracker that I became a test dummy, the #1 cognitive brain training platform in the world. Ronaldo, Manchester United was a part of that back in the day. So I don't really know a lot about the sport, but the data's there. Cricket's really popular, India, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, if you want to try it, go to fantasysportslogic.com, visit the blog post that I reference, subscribe free. You can go there. I'm going to post it on YouTube. Feel free to reach out. Yeah, very accessible. DM me through Twitter. I post on LinkedIn. You can find me through the sites Daryl, DARYL, at Fantasy Sports with an S, logic.com. Hopefully this was good information. Share it with people if you like. I have an affiliate program. I don't even talk about it. I mean, I don't know many people. If you refer somebody that does the $299.97, you're in $100. If you refer somebody that does the monthly to $29.97, you're in $10. So those videos are all on YouTube channel. I encourage you to go to YouTube. You can look for Fantasy Sports Logic. I'll also post a link. Thank you. Have an awesome day. I'll be out here tomorrow, 4th of July, for fireworks before the fireworks. I'm going to end this meeting. Y'all have a great one.